What's up, everybody? Welcome to Game Moose episode 120.
Ryan, we're actually at Eden's Gate today.
I thank you, Father, for telling me all of this.
This isn't the Game Moose podcast. It's Eden's Gate's podcast.
Eden's Gate cast?
Eden's Gate cast.
Call the herd!
Let the bliss take over.
I mean,
wash away your
it's
sins.
all about yes. It's all about yes.
Yeah, I want to encourage you guys to embrace the power of yes.
Yes.
The power of yes.
The power of yes.
Yes.
And if you all at home have no idea what we're talking about, then obviously you haven't played Far Cry 5.
Which I find hard to believe because it seems like everyone and their dog owns Far Cry 5.
I mean, it's the best-selling game in the series.
It's the best-selling game of the year, is it not?
So far.
Yes.
So far.
Want to see your
Well, actually, no.
face?
Okay.
No, Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is
I
the
thought
best
Far
game.
Cry 5 took over yesterday.
I haven't heard anything about that. Because Monster Hunter sold like 10 million copies.
Yeah, like the game's only been out for 2 weeks. If it outsold Monster Hunter already, that
Like Monster Hunter's entire run.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it might be on certain sites or something like that. Because, like, Amazon, for example, Far Cry might be the best-selling first week game or the best-selling game on Amazon this year.
Yeah.
But probably not. So, getting back to introduction. So, I'm here with the Ghost with the Monster
It sold
McMillan.
5 million copies in its first week.
That's still not Monster Hunter numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week we'll have... Okay, so maybe in 2 weeks it'll beat it.
Maybe.
Maybe. After we destroy it.
Yeah.
Are we,
I
though?
actually really like it. I think it's really fun.
Spoilers.
But I think it's really fun. I think it's a really stupid game, but it's really fun.
I agree that it is really
It's an incredibly dumb game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not at the same time. It's really fun and addicting, but
Yeah.
it's not a good... It's not... I don't find a good game. There's so many frustrating things about it.
There are things that drive me crazy about
Like,
it.
completely crazy. The fact that I can't just walk up the mountain most of the time drives me fucking nuts.
Really?
What do you
Yeah.
think this is? Oblivion?
I thought after playing Zelda, I want to be able to climb up any mountain. And, like, I just got to get this off my chest. Why can't you just get in the plane and fly out of there? Or anyone? Or just drive away?
The mountains are too high.
That is a great question.
The-
We actually asked that on the podcast last week, I think.
Yeah.
You can
We did.
fly out of there.
You're trapped in a valley, but then you have airplanes and helicopters.
Because it was different with Far Cry 3, for example, because you're on like a stranded island.
Yeah.
you're
How are
in the
you
middle
going to
of the
escape?
Pacific,
Which
yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense. This, you could, like, literally, there's civilization right around the corner.
Yeah.
Like, you could just get out.
But they've blocked the roads.
Yeah, I believe
really-
I can be quoted as saying, "Why don't you just get in the plane, fly over to the next town, and get the National fucking Guard?"
Yeah.
Right?
You could literally, or if you don't want to be there, just walk over the mountain, hike. There's so much
Yeah.
food and rations everywhere.
But the game gives you the option to do that multiple times.
The game does, but the people living there that don't want to be there, what do they
Yeah.
fight? They could just leave.
Yeah.
They have no reason to be there.
They don't want to abandon their bunkers.
What?
Yeah.
Get
They
the
don't-
fuck out of there. Go to anywhere else
They
in
don't want to
America.
abandon their homes.
I
don't blame
I
them.
appreciate the desire not to abandon. This is all a moot point. I think starting at the beginning of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the outset of the game, you land in a helicopter in the compound with the sheriff, a marshal, another deputy, and you're the rookie deputy.
You're the Rook.
The Rook.
The Rook.
The Rook, which is the
Horrible nickname for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like a murdering machine. You're the only one who's capable of anything.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just useless.
You're an unstoppable super commando, also known as the Rook. It's like their Mass Effect kind of like, that's how they refer to you without actually giving you a name.
Yeah.
So their Hawk, their whatever.
Your shepherd.
Their Rider, their Shepherd.
Yeah.
Is the Rook.
Or-
So you're
or rookie or deputy
Yeah.
or little lady
Yeah.
sometimes.
you take this happens in the first. I'm not spoiling anything. This happens in the first
10 minutes.
10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
The opening sequence is you go in, you arrest Joseph Seed, and nobody does anything. Like everyone's just like, yeah, okay, this is happening. Like all of the cult members seem to be on board with this, or
But-
at least okay with it.
But you can choose not to arrest him, though.
Yes, you can choose not to.
But I won't go into that. You
Yeah.
should play that when you play it.
So you arrest Joseph, you put him on the helicopter, and he keeps saying, "God won't let you take me." And then you get in the helicopter, and then the helicopter crashes, and it turns out the dispatcher is in on this, and she says that everything's fine. Everyone says everything, so that's why nobody's going to look for you.
Right.
Right. So like that's what they're like. No one's coming to help. So it's just you and the handful of people.
And it consistently reminds you of that line in the loading screen as
Yes.
it gives you quotes from the father.
Yeah.
One of them being, "No one is coming to save you."
No one's coming to save you. Yeah.
So every time you die, it's like it just reminds you of that.
But like there are multiple cases where you've got a radio, you've got an airplane, a helicopter, a fucking car.
Well,
No one's trying to stop you.
You can infinitely spawn them,
Yeah.
like just by going to like the plane depot or the helicopter depot.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you've bought a plane or a helicopter, because there are multiple ones you can buy, you can just infinitely
Or
spawn.
you can unlock them during certain
I was really invested in
Yeah.
this story for the first like 10 hours. I was like, oh, there's some cool stuff. And like you pick up the notes and you hear the radio stations. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, there's some cool world building here. And then you keep playing the game and the story just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well,
it goes off the rails.
I would argue it actually does make a lot of sense, but only if, and this is a big if, you have to actually pay attention to the collectibles and other things in the world.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
read all the diaries and stuff like that, because like you learn so much more about Faith, for example, who's one of the three faction leaders. You learn so much more about her, how she's like not the first Faith, she's actually the fourth one, because like there's a diary that describes how like there was a different Faith who had brunette hair before her.
She's like the Dread Pirate
Faith,
Roberts.
Faith
Or
was
like-
the best character in the game, and then they squandered her at the end.
Well,
There was a chance for redemption.
there's no chances for redemption.
There
in
was
this game.
chances because you don't really understand what the drug does. The weed plants they have everywhere that's mind controlling people.
Yeah.
But both sides are evil. I mean, you're
Yeah.
both torturing people.
Yep.
Like there's no
Yeah.
good side in this thing.
I was gonna say
Nope.
because you as the deputy slash rook are not really the good guy.
no,
No.
and like you kidnap
Well, like
their
the-
people and like torture them with like electricity.
Yeah, the whitetails. There's literally a scene where they're deprogramming somebody, and the whitetails have them like in an ice bath with the car battery
Yeah.
attached to them,
Yeah.
right? Like that thing. That
Like
old
they're just a
chestnut.
murderous cult, but they don't discriminate. They got everyone in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue it's probably one of the most diverse cults I've ever seen.
It is the most diverse cult I think ever.
Yeah.
It has yeah.
Even though you do find a lot of the same NPCs, I was actually really surprised by like the diversity in the NPCs.
Usually-
As far as like men and women of all races and colors, like
I didn't really find I found a lot of variety in the NPCs. Like none of them seemed to like pop up all that much.
Drew and I talked about it last week, but we actually ran into the dude with the long hair and the beard
with
a lot.
the long coat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's the easiest to spot so you know to kill him because a lot of the time it was really confusing if they're on your team or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Go
like
shoot them and
if you scope them, they get a red marker if they're bad, and they get a white one if they're good.
Yeah.
I found half the time the red marker would never show up. Like it would just never pop.
Well, you have to hold it over them for a certain period of time.
You get it faster with your binoculars than you do. With
Yeah,
a
but
gun.
who uses the binoculars in that game?
Me do.
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
On every encounter, I use binoculars.
I just go in there fucking throwing grenades and blowing shit up.
That might explain why because on Xbox they have a handy feature where you can compare stats with your friends. Why like everyone else was like 200 takedowns below me, like stealth takedowns, because I use binoculars every time, and all my weapons were silenced, and like it would be very rare for me to trigger alarms or be seen.
I just run in, shoot the alarms because they never heard your gunshots. But I found the stealth was so hard because they could see through everything. They could see for so far.
I don't know though, because if you actually stand in the tall grass, they can't see you.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'd hide behind walls and be like, there he is.
No, it's actually I found better success standing in tall grass than behind walls. Which is so weird
So-
because it's a wall. It's so much harder to see through that than tall grass.
Right. Yeah, it's a fun game. Ryan and I finished the game.
Yeah.
Drew's almost done.
Yeah, I've done a huge. Okay, so I have to talk about that, and in terms of like why it's taken me so long to finish the game. I played a lot of it. I put like crazy amounts of time into it.
Yeah. All of us are plus 24. It took me 25 hours to finish. I know
Yeah.
it took you about 30. And then you're in the middle between the two.
Well, I
of
made
us.
the mistake of doing a lot of the side quests, and like I'd recommend just getting to the story first and then doing the side quests.
Yeah.
Because it gets really fucking annoying when you're trying to do the side quest almost at the end of that county, like blocking
Yeah.
off, because planes just start shooting at you, and you're trying to talk to the NPCs to get new missions, and just shit's blowing up everywhere, and you can't get anything done.
So this is what we have to talk about.
That's the most frustrating
This
thing.
is what we have to fucking talk about. This is the thing that makes me the most mad about this fucking game, and I didn't know this until like now. There are the ways to get the meter up, the resistance meter up, which is how you progress through the game. it doesn't explicitly tell you what is essentially a story quest and what is a side quest, right? It's abundantly clear that the companion missions are story missions, and they tend to unlock stuff. And then there's one big story mission, but they don't like that opens up the area that becomes the hub for the area, right? So for for John's area, it's the town. For the Henbane, it's the jail, and for the Jacob's area, it's the bunker or whatever, right? The Wolf's Den. So that stuff you have to unlock by doing certain things, and then when you get those areas, then those people in there, I was under the impression that they were all giving me side quests. They're not.
No.
They're giving you main story quests.
Right.
That's confusing because it doesn't fucking outright tell you that.
The closest it gives you is the little map indicator that's the American flag almost, and that's the story missions, where the side missions are the star.
You know you're doing good if you get kidnapped every 45 minutes and put in a really horrible drug scene.
No. My favorite is I think it's in Jacob's area, where you get shot in the knee with a dart.
Right.
So of course I was in the air, flying a plane. When suddenly, while I'm flying towards an outpost in the air, I get shot in the knee while I'm in my plane and then dragged off somewhere. Yeah. What?
I got so annoyed by that.
So the whole conceit of this game and how it works is that you do these activities, the things go up, and then you hit milestones. The problem is the milestones, what they do is always the same fucking thing, which is then you get kidnapped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Which you get a notification that capture party incoming.
There's 4 of them in 3 areas. So that means by the end of the game, essentially, you're getting kidnapped 12 fucking times.
Why do they keep letting you go? I don't understand. Why don't they just kill you?
Right?
You're clearly the biggest threat to them. They kill everyone else.
Yeah.
They got no problem.
If it's that easy for them to just magically drug you, or to kidnap you and brainwash you, or to kidnap you and lock you in a bunker, to just fucking do it and then leave you there.
Because I don't want to spoil it, but the ending explains this.
I didn't think it explained it.
They won't.
I'll tell you about it off air.
I didn't think it
if we were doing a spoiler discussion, I'd tell you all about it here. But
right.
Yeah,
so
I want you to finish the game first.
The point is, regardless of how awesome the fucking payoff is, and I'm not convinced that it's just gameplay wise, it's annoying. Right? Instead of saying first of all, having more variety in what those milestones are, and then having to wait for the capture party to come get you, and then feels like some kind of random event. Instead, why don't they have things okay, John is moving a shipment of drugs here, and you have to stop it and just give me a timer, or Faith is has kidnapped a high level person. You can do stuff that brings you to them. You don't always have to bring you don't always have to have them come fucking pick you up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's actually, it's funny you bring that up, because that's actually how previous Far Cry games did that. But the problem when they did it that way was that when they tried to bring in the serious story elements, and you mixed it in with the open world by traveling to that mission, kind of like what you're talking about, it in a way tried to mix the seriousness and the not seriousness together in a way that didn't work. So I think that's why they did this time, where there's a definite line between the serious story beats and the weird and goofy open world, essentially.
Yeah.
Is what they tried to do. And I think in a lot of ways, from playing other Far Cry games, I actually think that as goofy as it is when it happens, this time around it actually made more sense. I felt like it added more weight to those story missions. That's when I really wanted to pay attention and sort of take in the story, even as much as I didn't really enjoy the story. I don't think it was great all the way through. I think that the ending really, after the ending, I'm like, oh, this all makes so much sense now.
I was like, that's the dumbest fucking thing.
But up until that point, though, I didn't feel that way.
All I was doing throughout the end, so taking it back to the progress meter, because I really want to talk about that, is when I hit those milestones, I got really frustrated because essentially I did all the most obvious story missions, and then for the last one, then it's grinding out the like finding VIPs and just wandering around the map and trying to make sure trying to find all the outposts,
Right.
and hoping, oh, maybe I need to find another, because doing outposts also really moves up that tick.
Yeah, by a lot.
But I didn't realize that, oh no, what I should be doing is going back to the town or whatever and getting the missions from them, because I'd stumble across areas and I'd be like, this should be an outpost. Why isn't this an outpost? Oh no, and it turns out, oh no, wait. It's a major story location and you just don't know it yet. Right? There's all these sort of problems with it. I appreciate part of them is just, well, that's because it's an open world and that's how it is.
Yeah.
But I got really frustrated for the last little bit until I realized what the hell was going on. Was that I was grinding out the last section by doing these really small things to bring up the meter and not doing the bigger things.
Right. And I found towards the end of each area, it was a little bit of a slog because I had taken out all the outposts and done a lot of the main, all the main story quests in that area, but I didn't do all the little side missions, which meant that the meter, it very slowly built up.
It should be, at least at the end, it should be if you do all of the outposts and you do all the story missions, that should just do you fine.
And it also depended per area as well, because I found that the area that actually took the longest was the area in the south, John's area, and then Jacob's area was actually the quickest.
Yeah,
I found it the opposite.
I found John's area very, very.
Jacob's on the one with the wolves, right?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
But
that one took me forever.
See, it didn't take
I couldn't get the outpost to pop in that one.
See, that's the thing. The outpost in that area, the gain in that area is so high that if you just do the 4 outposts, you're almost already there.
Yeah,
that's what I did in all the one.
And they're so spread apart.
I didn't finish a lot of the story missions. I didn't shoot all the boats. I didn't take out the towers or anything. I just did the outposts and a few other things, and boom.
Well, the towers,
and a lot of the cars that blew up. And
the
stuff.
towers, the silos, and what's the one in Faith's area?
I did all the rescue missions.
Oh, they're
the shrines.
Yeah. That's
those shrines, towers, and silos. Those are all essentially side missions, right?
Yeah.
But they don't feel like it the way they're presented.
No.
They feel like they should be.
And there's a side mission associated with destroying all the ones in the area.
Yeah.
But finding them can actually be really difficult.
Yeah.
The silos, for example, there's so many of them that I had one left and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
In Jacob's area.
Yeah. John.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the other
there's so many J's. I get confused.
Yeah, there's John, Jacob, Jingleheimer, and Schmidt. John, Jacob, and Joseph, and then Faith.
Yeah,
Our
boy Joseph right here.
Too. They couldn't have Josephine or Joanne or
no, because they had faith.
Okay,
gotta have faith.
They even used that line in the game.
So there was that sort of gameplay mechanic, the thing that drove me fucking nuts, but and it still is, and I'm still grinding the last one. The other stuff, I like to play the game very stealthily, as do you.
See me.
I'm really mad that this game does the same thing that a lot of other games do, and that is that basically if you snipe someone from far away, it's really easy for them to find you.
Yeah.
Essentially, if you kill a guy, and for example, if you kill a guy and then another guy sees his body, they'll immediately know where you are. Mm-hmm. They'll almost immediately know where you are.
Yeah.
Which I find super annoying.
The one nice thing about that, though, is if you're using a silent sniper rifle, though, like I was, what you can do is actually use that to your advantage. Because you snipe the guy, they know where you are, but all you have to do is sort of make your way around them and you can totally flank them.
Yeah.
And easily do stealth takedowns to get on the rest of them.
Yeah.
Or use a silenced submachine gun like I was using.
Yes, I do that.
That was my favorite
I have
tactic.
a silenced submachine gun, silenced AK-47, and the silenced. I just got the big 50 cal sniper rifle.
The 50 cal sniper rifle is so good. It kills everything in 2 hits.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. And then of course every once in a while you run across the armored guys, and then you have to switch to armor piercing rounds if you want to snipe them, or the flamethrower guys. So doing the outposts, that stuff drove me nuts, and inevitably it just turned to chaos in the end, almost always. Just then we're just running in and blowing stuff up.
I think definitely stealth out of all the Far Cry games is the hardest to do in this game.
Yeah, one of the things I did like is they had the thing where you can sabotage the vehicle so that it explodes on its next collision. So you can take a big truck, drive it full blast, person of interest style at something, jump out, and then have it crash into something and blow up.
I actually would do that with some of the planes, the helicopters. Is I would sabotage them ahead of time and then take it out, and then sort of that would make me my way into the mission is throw it into the outpost where all the guys are standing.
I couldn't paraglide to save my life. Every time I do, I die.
The wingsuit?
Yeah, the wingsuit did not work for
the
me.
wingsuit certainly takes some finesse.
But once you eventually unlock the airdrop ability, where you can when you fast travel, you can choose airdrop. You can get around the map so fucking quick. It's amazing because you just immediately appear in the air. You just wingsuit like a bunch of miles away. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like that's how by the end of the game, that's how I progressed so quickly through Jacob's area, was I was just fast traveling and then paradropping essentially, and then flying to wherever the objective was, even if it was super far away.
Yeah.
Rather than taking a plane.
I gotta get the soundtrack in this game is so good.
Yeah.
I love driving.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
There are parts of I liked the ambient music. I liked the music over the radio, but I didn't like some of the original music that was written for the game.
I loved it. The Bob Dylan-y Johnny Cash stuff was hilarious.
No. What I mean is this, that like the non-diegetic sound.
Oh, the theme?
Like stuff like the banjo theme,
Yeah.
which I still maintain doesn't make any sense to me because I don't think the banjo is something in the South. We're in fucking Montana.
Which is pretty close to Canada.
Yeah, it's arguably
Closer
very
to
close
Canada than Texas.
It's much
No,
closer.
despite everyone looks like they're from the South in this
Yeah.
game.
Well,
They all
no.
look like they're from Kings of Leon.
That's more just redneck look and not the southern look.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that.
Because you don't see people in like with cowboy hats and stuff. Because you see that in the
You know where they see
stuff.
people with cowboy hats? This is like a Nashville look.
No,
Yeah.
They look like they're from Nashville.
maybe.
They look like Kings of Leon and Mumford and
How do you
Sons.
know that Hopes County, Montana isn't the same dress code as Nashville?
I assume they wear fucking Echo and Walmart clothing. These guys are wearing tight-fitted, like, good-looking clothes.
They got like really nice leather clothes and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and like really nice like wool suits and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of the soundtrack, though, there was one really awesome mission that was set to the Get Free by the Strokes.
Yes.
And that mission was awesome.
I mean, yes, the song "Get Free" by the Strokes is great, and in the context of like they're playing "Get Free" and you're fighting a bunch of guys that are trying to kidnap you and you're trying to like save your buddy, but also the
no,
whole
it's
thing
not
was
the
like
Strokes, it's the Offspring.
No, it's the Strokes.
Oh.
It's definitely not the Offspring.
Definitely not the
The
Offspring.
Offspring has not recorded a song that good in their entire career.
That's not true at all.
Yeah. We're not.
I
talking
thought it
about
was
this.
"Come on and get free, come on and get
Yeah.
free,
Yes,
ride into the sun." That's not the Strokes.
It's not the Offspring.
Definitely not the Offspring.
That's not the Strokes.
I could be incorrect about that.
Now we're gonna search the internet. No, we're gonna-
So yeah, there's that, and then there's Only You.
no. Okay.
That's everyone's favorite song, right?
When the cows are humping, they play Marvin Gaye, which is fucking great.
Well, let's get it on.
Yeah. Oh, let's get it on. Come on, get free. What's the song?
Jesus Christ, you guys.
Well, there's a song called "Get Free" by Major Lazer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, anyway,
anyways,
the point is this:
It's the Vines.
the Vines.
that's who it was.
One could be excused for
All
making
those
that.
bands were kind of run together anyways.
Yeah, they're from a similar era.
And they're better than the Offspring. Well, the Offspring's better than that.
No, what I'm talking about are the songs that play like when you're doing like the so at the just like everything that's becomes unfortunately way too predictable is every single area ends with like a last bunker attack,
Right.
And then like that's when like they'll have like special music that kicks in there. So like when the missile silo is melting down or when the dam is exploding or whatever, that music I found super annoying.
Yeah.
And also the original, the music that plays over the.
I didn't like the
menus.
bunker music at all. I thought it was not good.
Yeah.
Now the real question is, did you guys like the music that was playing when you saved Cheeseburger?
Yes.
It's just like
Yes, I
dueling
did.
banjos.
Yes, I
Right?
did.
Yeah.
Yes. I liked a lot of the music. I really liked the original music.
Yeah.
Like the tunes.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
Fucking great.
yeah, like the cult songs.
Yeah, the
like,
cult songs.
Like the like Christian rock. kind
the
of
cult
tunes.
radio station clearly better than all the normal radio stations. But I will say about that though is that a lot of times I found in the open world just throwing on my own music instead. For that reason, just because like there was either a lot of points where there was no music and I kind of wanted to have something in the background, or I didn't love the original music as much as in the same way as you guys do. But I do love all the uses of licensed music, and some of the mission music that is original is also really good as well. It's just a lot of the stuff you hear in the open world, I'm like,
Yeah, so my problem with that moment when they're playing Get Free though is that's supposed to be the tape that's deprogramming him.
Right.
Right. So, we just played rock music and he felt better. Which is really fucking
well, no, it's because it's also the name of the mission's the same.
I get that. It's indicative.
It also
of,
doesn't make any sense to the story.
Like, it's indicative
the
of, like,
story doesn't make any sense.
You don't make any sense.
the story fundamentally is too fragmented. Like, I understand that they did that way on purpose, but it doesn't connect with itself.
It feels
very
like
well.
two people wrote the story but didn't like
Talk
pass
to each other.
notes, and they just kind of put shit together randomly.
I would suggest that it feels like 3 people wrote the
Okay.
story.
Well, it's like this.
you
Like,
get all the side shit too
Yeah.
on the radios and stuff.
Yeah.
and I think part of the problem with the story, the way it progresses, is because you can do it in any order.
Yeah.
They had to write it a certain way so that each area kind of had finality.
Yeah.
Where each area has its own like ending cutscene that sort of wraps up the story in that area.
So here's my problem with this game, in terms of like, because Sean Capri, I'm talking to you, Capri, called us out on Twitter and said that we're full of shit.
Well,
we're just spouting the same criticisms of people.
to be fair, he said that about a lot of people. It's not
did.
just us.
Here's again, I still haven't read anyone else's review of this game, and I won't until I finish it. Fundamentally, here's the problem. My problem with story is, number one, it is not a narrative. There is no narrative in this game. There is nobody like you as a character, as the rookie. You don't change. There is no. This is the rookie has no identity at the beginning. Has no identity at the end. He doesn't have a journey, and none of the other characters do either.
I didn't like that. I really wish your character had something like just a personality. I never tried to change clothes or anything because you don't really get a sense of your person. At
Well, I mean,
all.
you're it's a first person game,
But
and
still,
you
so is
never
Wolfenstein, and you get
you-
a good sense of your character.
No, I meant the clothing wise. You wouldn't.
Right.
You wouldn't change it. Like I changed it once or twice.
It just
for the
seems like,
achievements.
but I usually do in games because I think it's fun because you get a sense of your character and you build his personality. But this guy had nothing.
Yeah. It was more meant to be like almost like a Half-Life experience where you are sort of projecting yourself on the character.
But you still got a sense of Gordon Freeman. You don't really get a sense of anything. In
Like
this.
there's no sense of growth or change or anything as the character at all, right? There's no like it would be interesting if they said like, oh look, like shit gets crazy and like this is how you have to survive, right? And like even at that, like you are not even given the choice of like, do you be a little less passive? Do you have like other, for example, role playing games give you options to like try non-lethal options and stuff like, and you can kind of like project yourself into that. You don't even have that here. It's just like you just kill people all the fucking time. You're just a killing machine. And there's no like, well, they keep doing things to you. They keep taking things away from you, and that's why you keep. But like, you have nothing. You have no stakes. The stakes are like you, and then like the other characters,
Your quote unquote friends.
your friends who are.
But are they your friends? Because they don't joke around with you.
You have no sense of who they are.
Well, I was gonna say you only meet them at the very beginning.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Arguably, I think the only person that seems to have a bit of a journey is the deputy that's in Jacob's area, right? Because it's the whole thing is like he's been subject to Jacob's like mind brainwashing the whole time, right? Mm-hmm. But even at that, there were opportunities to do things that were clever with the brainwashing thing, but instead they just make you do quote unquote arcade mode 3 times.
Yeah.
And you're just like, fuck, it's just annoying and it doesn't seem engaging or interesting. Mm-hmm. It doesn't pose any interesting moral quandaries. At the same time, like you go to John's area and John's supposed to be this charismatic TV preacher. And it was like, well, like how can you be a preacher but then also use violence? But at the same time, you've got another preacher. And instead of like contrasting that preacher is just also a preacher who also has a gun. You're like, where how is that interesting? Like they're just two sides of the same coin, and nobody makes that observation. At no point does the preacher or John or say like, look, sure I'm violent, but so is this guy. He's making like. I think there was a great opportunity for them to say like, this is a cult. This is why the cult's so powerful, and if anything, give you a moment to like even like tempt you into thinking that maybe there's something to this fucking cult thing. Mm-hmm. Who knows? But instead, they also use all the excuses of people are being kidnapped and brainwashed and drugged, right? So at no point do you ever actually have to challenge your perspective on belief and the strength of belief, because you're like, no, all these people have been like literally kidnapped and duped into this. But at the same time, you're just like, I'm okay with murdering them. They're like, the ludonarrative dissonance in this game is through the fucking roof. Like, it is ungoddamn believable. This, don't get me wrong, this does not make this a bad game, but objectively, on paper, the story is not good.
Right.
It is not engaging. It is too fragmented. There's not enough growth. There's no hubris. There's no like I said, there's no change. You don't feel like there's anything that's like challenging you.
You'll probably hate the ending even more than I do.
I think probably
you
will.
probably will.
Yeah.
I hated Jacob's area.
Yeah.
I thought it was super lazy. Also, like, there's even like basic stuff here. I'm starting to realize that it's abundantly clear that these games are made by people that either don't know or don't care. Don't get me wrong, because one of my friends worked on this game, right? But when you're making like health kits and like you can make like potions essentially to like enhance your strength and stuff like that. Do you know what the game refers to that as?
Crafting?
It's specifically in the tree. Homeopathics.
There you go.
Homeopathy. Homeopathy is nothing. That's not a real study of anything. There's naturopathics, which is the use of using natural things like things found in the everyday world as medicinal things without any kind of direct refinement, right? And then there's medicine. Homeopathy is a specific like kooky school of medicine that actually is not.
But if you're giving yourself more life, isn't that kind of like like that is like a joke? Like that's not a real thing.
It's a straight up. So here's the central tenet of homeopathics, which is full on quackery. It's like goop level nonsense, right? Like it's beyond that, because it's like there's a cult in and of itself built around homeopathics. Which if Ubisoft, if that's what you're doing, okay, good on you. But I don't think it is. Homeopathics basically states that the central tenet is that everything that water has a memory. Right, and by diluting something, you make it stronger and better. But the water has a memory of everything that's ever been in it. So when you drink water, if you drank water that was that had like leaves from some healing plant in it, then if you take that water and separate it from the healing plant and drink it, then you'll be better. And you think, well, Drew, of course, because that means you've like. You've got like through solution, you've got the whatever that healing plant is now in the water. But then they say, but no, to make it better, you dilute it. So you add more water. And then you refine it and dilute it and refine it and dilute it and refine it and dilute it. Most homeopathic things actually have no active ingredients in them whatsoever. Homeopathy is literally nonsense. It's complete and utter quackery. Like it's not like essential oils or using cranberries to cure your UTI, which it actually doesn't. And a number of other things. They're using ginger for like your nausea. That's all naturopathics, right? Homeopathy is complete nonsense. But that's what they refer to the act of making. Like basically, they're saying essentially it is naturopathics, but they use the term homeopathy, which is completely wrong. That I realize that's really pedantic, but it really makes me really mad because it's like it's next level wrong, right?
We have a chemist in the house here.
I was gonna say no.
It doesn't even take chemistry. Like it's just like it's basic. Like so, like homeopathy is complete garbage. If anyone says like, "Oh, I'm a homeopathic doctor," they're full. Like number one, they're not a doctor. And number two, you know that they're a fucking lunatic, right? It's nonsense. It's crap.
You know what I'm a doctor of?
What?
Love.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that stuff drove me crazy.
Yeah.
Here's another one. And if this is again, if this was on purpose, then awesome. Jacob is in the 82nd Airborne, right?
Yeah.
He's in the Army.
He was
in the Army,
yeah.
Right? So
until he like killed a man and ate him.
Yeah. He was in the 82nd Airborne and went kooky, which again is like is a trope in and of itself, right? Because like we talked about Rambo last time, right?
Right.
The whole thing about Rambo is like Rambo doesn't go crazy because he's a veteran. Rambo's just treated like shit because they think he's a creepy drifter.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't have tried to kill a badass super commando.
Yeah.
Right. But in this is like there's this like really trite, heavy-handed nonsense of like I went to war and war fucked with me. But I think, you know what? I don't think he went to war. I don't think he was ever in the Army at all because he claims that he was in the 82nd Airborne, but he says hoorah all the time, right?
Okay.
Do you know what hoorah is?
A term not used by the airborne soldiers?
No, it's definitely not. It's not used by the Army at all. It is the battle cry of the U.S. Marine Corps. like a fucking army dude would never be caught dead saying hoorah. He might say hoo-ah, which is completely different.
To be fair, he does say it in a very joking manner and only says it once.
He says it multiple times. He said there's one time where he mockingly says hoorah to you.
Yeah.
But like he says it multiple times. Yeah. Yeah. So if they're strongly implying that he's actually just full of shit, then that would be awesome.
Well, they're also, again, he's like the one person of the three the cult members who's not in it because he believes in Joseph Seed's sort of plan or sort of his faith. He doesn't have faith in the religion. He's there because he's able to fuck people up. That's what he's there for. Well, he explains that throughout his story.
Right, he has like his own philosophy. That
he has his own agenda.
That dovetails in with Joseph's, and that is that like he believes that we need to cull the herd. We need to get rid of the weak people so that the world can be. But he does say like after you kill him, or as you kill him, he says like the end is coming. Like he does suggest that the end of the world is coming. So like he does believe that it's the end of the world. But
see, I felt like through his interactions that he really didn't. Like even if he's just echoing some of John's words, he doesn't believe in the faith. That's not the reason he's there.
Yeah, there was all kinds of weird things.
There's all kinds of like weird inconsistencies and just like factual errors and.
Now, that being said, we've said a lot of negative stuff about the game's story, which is fine. But I do want to touch on some things I really liked about it. Okay. So, for example, I do feel like when you explore the open world, it's kind of like what we talked about last week. It really feels like the world is really lived in. Like it's an actual place where people live. Like people drive down the road like normal. There's lots of life in the woods.
No, Ryan. Nobody drives down the road like normal in this game because every 5 feet. There's something interesting happening, which is good, right? Because driving around does not feel boring. Yeah. So there are times where you're just like, I just want to get to where I'm going, which is why they have like airdrop and fast travel and stuff like that.
Right.
But there's no shortage of things happening along the road. Like people, like we talked about this last time, like people having been like kidnapped and having their like a gun at their head at the side of the road and shit like that.
Yeah. Like for the first 15 hours, I didn't use fast travel, and I was so thankful I didn't because it was so awesome to just go and explore things in this world. Like that's one of the things I really liked was the exploratory elements.
I think I've only used fast travel once in my whole playthrough. I don't really like. There's just so much fun things to find, and you can always kind of find something to cross up. Because even if you don't fast travel and just fly in a plane, like it's still like the scenery is really impressive in this game, and even like you still spot like towers and stuff along the way. You're like, oh, that looks really interesting. I'm gonna go down there. It's a great looking game, and it was really funny watching like animals just attack random people on the side of the road. It was fucking because it was the badgers, right? They were just
Wolverines.
Fuck, they were annoying. But watching them like face hug like some random dude was hilarious.
Or sometimes
just seeing like a bear just come running out and just maul a fucking deer or something.
Yeah. Or when you're in the mountains and you have to watch out for cougars. Like as soon as you hear the wow, you're like, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
It's Red Dead all over again.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I really liked.
Why was there no underwater animals though? Like where were the crocodiles or something?
It's Montana.
It doesn't fucking matter. They could put something in the water.
They did. They put fish.
There's no. Oh god, fishing is so annoying. But there could have been something to stop you from crossing the water so easily.
But it's Montana.
There's not much going on.
There's nothing like that there.
There is nothing realistic about this game at all.
But but the nature elements of it are actually pretty close to what you would see in Montana.
Except for the drug.
Right.
Except for the drug.
Well, okay. I mean, like animals and whatnot. Like again, like you're talking about, the reason there's no piranhas there is because there aren't piranhas in Montana. But there are deer and moose and
it wouldn't have bugged
bulls.
me. They could have been like, the cult somehow got them here.
They broke into a zoo and took a bunch of crocodiles.
The Montauk Zoo was overrun.
Yeah. The other thing I really liked about it is the story that comes from the collectibles and the environmental storytelling that's in this game, because I actually think that part of the game was actually really well done. Like there are so many things. Guys, did you either of you go to the haunted house?
Yeah, the haunted house was fucking awesome.
Haunted house was amazing.
I haven't been to the haunted. Where's the haunted house?
It was not haunted. It was amusement house.
Yeah,
it was fucking awesome.
Where is it?
So it's in Faith's area. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Because I'm doing Faith's area last.
It's really funny.
Yeah, and there's this whole side quest. Sorry, not a side quest. A pepper stash based around it.
Yeah,
and you find out that there's this dude who basically built up this haunted house to trick teenagers to go there, and he murders them. It's really, and there's all these notes about it and stuff.
It was one of the first things I did, and I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
that's fucked.
Yeah. So there was lots of really great stuff like that.
The P-tape was funny.
Like all the pepper stashes.
The PP thing yet either. Where's the PP tape?
In Jacob's, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was just so many really interesting little stories like that, especially with the pepper stashes specifically.
I don't know.
Each one had its own little story as to why there was a weird way to enter or to get at it. Like the dude who flooded his bunker because people were trying to rob it.
Yeah.
Or
I think that's going to play.
The pepper stashes were fun. I said you did the one where you had to back the truck up to pull the trailer out. So I tried doing that, and then the truck got stuck. So then I just went in and put a remote explosive underneath it, and then blew it off. Yeah, that's how I dealt with it.
When all you really had to do was open the door and then stand on it, and then the game would just glitch out, and the trailer would just fly off.
Yeah. I think that Haunted House is going to play into the DLC.
Yeah,
it sounds like aliens are coming.
In fact,
Bigfoot,
yeah,
there might be Bigfoot,
aliens, zombies.
Yeah,
when you really go hunting for Bigfoot in the woods, I'm thrilled with that.
Now that we know what the DLC is, it makes sense in the game now. And now that I played it, because Jacob's area is like the Vietnam, where the Vietnam idea comes from, and then the alien area is from.
Faith area,
and then Faith is the zombie area.
John's,
because John's has the big crop circle.
There is actually
the crop circle.
There's a side quest where you help a guy either go to space or he just dies, going to Earth's atmosphere.
The crazy guy who looks like the guy from the X-Files.
Yeah,
the one who gave Mulder all the info.
Oh yeah,
the same person.
The guy who he's the guy you blow the antennas off the thing for, right?
Yeah. So I think that all of that stuff is really interesting.
I'm really stoked on the DLC. I hope it's fucking wild.
Yeah. I think that they're going to do
to give you a sense of how good this game is.
I just dogged it, but it is really fun.
I just took a big steaming dump on as much of the story as possible and a bunch of other things, and I can't stop playing it.
Yeah.
Right? It's still insanely fun.
Because the gameplay itself is top notch.
The gameplay is tight as fuck. The planes and the helicopters feel so good. The driving feels amazing. The shooting feels good.
I love lobbing grenades all day.
I love
Molotovs all day. And then they come running at you on fire trying to jump on you. Yeah. So I think that's hilarious.
Yeah. I love setting up a line of remote explosives or proximity explosives.
The proximities are good.
To get the convoys. Mm-hmm. So what'll happen is the first one will come through, it'll go over the first proximity explosive, explode. The guys will freak out and then go to race to drive forward, then hit the next one, and the last guy will go and it'll hit the third one. Yes, fuck you guys.
It's so good.
Or
I like having Herc with me because he just blows everything up. Herc's just nuts. Fucking explosions going on.
So there was one time where I was flying with Herc and I were flying in a helicopter. We were going to do a story mission, and I was flying along, and I saw a dude who had been kidnapped by a cult member, and he was leading him at gunpoint into a cave. And I was like, well, I'm gonna stop and help out. So I land my helicopter. Herc and I get out. I kill the guy, and it turns out there was another dude around there somewhere, and I didn't realize, and he was behind me. So I turn around, and Herc shoots his rocket launcher and hits our fucking helicopter. I kill the guy, and I'm like, fuck, Herc. Now we're stranded in the middle of goddamn nowhere, and we don't have anything. So then I had to fast travel. Herc is hilarious. Yeah. But doing shit like Ryan said, rigging a plane to explode and then flying it into a base, or
it really gives you a ton of freedom to tackle anything in the game, other than sort of the main story missions where you have all your equipment taken away from you.
Yeah.
Any way you want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sniping a dude in the head who's driving one of the trucks that has the machine gun on the back of it, then sneaking up behind him, getting the machine gun, and then gunning down the other dudes who are in the convoy. And
I'm using a really overpowered pistol grenade gun that's fucking ridiculous.
The grenade launcher thing?
Yeah, it just destroys.
Yeah.
I could use one of those, or just use my trusty 4-4 Magnum, because I'm a big fan of it.
I have the shotgun that has the super scope on it, and it's way overpowered.
I have the 50 cal that has flames on the side of it. And I'm like, man, that's the best gun.
I really like
with a silencer on it.
I really like the AK-47 with the red dot and a silencer. Which is just smoking dudes all the time.
Yeah. I'm curious. So neither one of you guys carry rocket launchers like me, though.
No.
Just because, I would always. I was using the lock-on rocket launcher for a while, but then I switched to just the normal one.
I really wish
lock-on didn't work so well.
I really wish there was a perk that made you not have to loot the bodies.
There's the melee takedown one, Where if
But I
you
shoot
do a melee
everybody.
takedown, you don't have to loot the body.
I shoot everyone.
So,
I hate looting because then you accidentally pick up the wrong gun.
I was going to say this. Yeah, like here's Ubisoft. I never want to pick up their gun ever.
No,
so
ever.
Or-
don't make that the first thing that always appears.
Well, I was going to say, don't make the use button and the pickup gun button the same
Same
button.
button.
Make one Y, one X, boom.
Yeah, so I can just
Bob's your
yeah.
uncle.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah,
the loot
because
stuff.
like there was the silo mission that we were talking about earlier. There's a whole bunch of guys near the end of it, and there's these control panels you have to interact with, and the guys keep spawning.
Yeah.
So I would keep killing guys who would just park in front of the controls, and I couldn't interact with the controls because I kept killing guys there who kept dropping their fucking guns, which meant I had to keep looting them, and then eventually I could finally use the silo controls.
Yeah.
But it was such a pain in the ass, like more of a pain than it needed to be.
We also got to talk about there's not enough money in the game to get all the good shit. Like you got to pay for microtransactions.
I don't know. I very selectively paid for things, but like. Especially like vehicles. Vehicles are crazy expensive.
But they're supposed to be. They're vehicles.
Yeah, like
But
helicopter.
if you actually want them, like if you want the vehicles, there's no way you're getting them from playing the game.
Well, a lot of them, you usually get at least one of every type in the game
right.
just by playing it. So you usually get one car, one boat, one plane, and one helicopter.
And Nick's plane is arguably probably one of the better planes in the game.
Yeah.
Because it has bombs. It doesn't have rockets.
No, it has bombs and machine gun.
A really good machine gun, and it's a float plane, so it can land in water.
Yeah.
Yeah. The helicopter you get though is garbage because it's just a.
I did actually save up and buy like the Apache helicopter.
No. Yeah, I really want to get the little bird. I want to get that so bad.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like like the small like helicopter. It's got
I even looked at the vehicle because I have nowhere near enough money. I bought 3 guns, and that's what all I
Because
could afford.
actually, I found that.
But if you want to buy clothes, if you want to buy like a good car and like all the upgrades for your
Don't
gun,
buy clothes, you
there's
never
no
fucking
fucking
see
way.
yourself.
See, I don't know though, because I found that I had tons of money in this
Really?
game.
I
because
never
I
had
like
enough money.
my bank was like overflowing because I didn't have enough shit to spend it on because I was raiding all the pepper stash. Anytime I saw a pepper stash on the map, I went to it and raided it, which meant that you actually get so much more money that way.
Yeah.
What's the pepper stashes?
Prepper stash?
So they're like
okay.
the green diamond on the map.
Yeah. So that's where like the underground bunkers and stuff.
I didn't do many.
Pepper stashes
I didn't
have
do many of
tons.
those.
Because each one has like $1,000 to $2,000 in it.
I oftentimes found the prepper stashes the most fun. One of the more fun things I did in the game too, like trying to solve the puzzle of how do I get in there.
Yeah.
Or
I didn't do that
where's the interest? Where's the entrance? Did you guys get lockpicking or the repair torch?
Yeah.
I got
of
both.
course.
Yeah.
The repair torch is key, man.
Yeah.
It's so important because to get into safes to get shit
Yeah. I also got the other perk to automatically repair your vehicle while you're driving it.
while you're driving.
I'm trying to get the. I don't even have half the perks right now.
Yeah, because there's an achievement for getting half the perks, and I just got
I
it.
didn't think I'm close.
I just got it after finishing the game.
Yeah.
Like
I'm still
finally,
far.
but
You have to
also
do challenges at a certain point. Like unless you're going out of your way to do challenges, like they come pretty fast early.
well, you
on.
also get 3
Yeah.
perk points for every pepper stash you solve too.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I
you
should do the
because you
pepper
get like
stashes.
you get like $1,000 to $2,000 and you get 3 little perk point magazines.
Yeah.
So you get a whole bunch of perks that way too. That's why I was able to like grind them so quickly. And I bought some of the ones that were like 12 perk points, which are hard to come by. So we should sort of wrap up our Far Cry conversation because we do have a couple other things I want to talk about before we go.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole point of this is, I like it. It's a good game.
Yeah. I think if you're going in for the story, probably not. Like, I think I enjoyed the story the most out of the 3 of us.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I don't think that's the reason to play
I have
it.
problems with how the story is presented and how it's laid out.
Yeah.
I appreciate again that they tried to do something unique and tried to make it a little bit more modular, so you could experience it in whatever order and stuff like that. But like stuff like there are things that like there's information you get about characters that you probably should have gotten up front, like where they talk about like there's a thing where you get sort of a post-mortem from Joseph, and it's not clear how that information is being sent to you. Is he doing a TV broadcast, and in which case but like it's just put on screen, and again in a little weird non-diegetic way. Like I don't know, there are things about it that I don't like.
If it wasn't open world, I feel like it would have forced them to actually make it a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
And it was so less loopy.
Yeah.
Because you do a lot of the same thing.
And again, a lot of it is because it's an open world game. And I think that, again, as I mentioned before, being a big Far Cry fan, liking the other games, I think from that perspective, I think this is probably my favorite Far Cry numbered entry. Blood Dragon is still my favorite thing in the Far Cry franchise.
Holy
but
shit, doesn't this feel like Primal though, the world? It's almost identical.
But in a lot of ways, I thought that was more refreshing than going back to like 4, for example. Because if you go back and play 4 now, I don't think it holds up very well, especially after playing this game. Like I feel like your 4, like the way that they designed it this time makes more sense given how much freedom they give you in the open world.
This game feels like, honestly, it feels like a first-person Grand Theft Auto mixed with Red Dead in terms of like the quality of the open world, but then with none of the really great storytelling you get from a Grand Theft Auto game.
Right.
We keep saying it's an open world, but the reality is that like Rockstar does a way better job of telling stories in those environments.
Right.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
And there may have been a bunch of problems with development and stuff like that, and getting over technical.
I also think it's learning too, because they did something very different this time around than they have other times.
Yeah. So I certainly give them the benefit of the doubt. The reality is, I think story-wise it didn't work, but gameplay-wise, they knocked it out of the park. Yeah.
It's still fun to play. So quickly, Brock, would you recommend someone pick this up or no?
Oh, hell yeah, definitely pick it up. It's a really fun arcade game. I haven't even jumped into the arcade mode yet. I'm really stoked to play the Battle Royale Far Cry maps because those look awesome.
They totally exist and are a thing.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to get into the arcade mode more and play some of the online stuff.
Yeah.
Co-op's really good in this game. It's really fun. You can have couch co-op. Amazing.
And you can
There's couch co-op in this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I heard you can play the whole game.
Yeah,
co-op.
I mean, I want to we should next time we see each other online playing Far Cry, we should definitely play some co-op together.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Drew, what do you think? Recommend? Because I know we're going to prep a review at some point.
I'm going to do a written review of this game for sure. But yeah, you should play this game.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And if if
Just
someone
don't
asked me, hey, would I pay $80 for this game? I would. It's a great game. There's a lot to do and there's a lot of fun. Go into it with the understanding of don't think that you may or may not like the story, but regardless, you're going to have fun blowing shit up.
Yeah.
That's not going to stop.
And even if you don't like blowing shit up, if you like the stealthy approach too, like me, I found a way to make it work, and it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, I do a mix of both, and I still really enjoy it.
Yeah, and same here. I really recommend this game again. I think when I really reflect on it, I think it is my favorite Far Cry game, and I do think that if you like Far Cry at all, you should definitely play it. If you like open world shooters, you should definitely play it. Again, don't go into it with the expectation that the story might not blow your socks off, but that's okay because everything else about this game is fantastic. All right, so let's move on because we ate up a lot of our time talking about Far Cry.
We knew that was going to happen, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we wanted to do. It's our review discussion, one would say. So what else have we been playing this week? Brock, I'll start with you. I know there's something you can't talk about.
I downloaded the new God of War. I haven't played it. Because I didn't want to spoil anything. Because I think I would open my fat mouth on this podcast. So I'll be playing that for review.
Well, no, on the 12th you can talk about it, right? So we can talk about it next week.
I've been playing. I played the first. I've almost done A Way Out. I'm playing that at co-op with
you and Sean.
Pants.
Yeah,
on stream.
That's that prison escape game.
Yeah,
is it Prison Pals?
I don't like it.
Really?
At all. No, it's a kind of fun game, but the story is so bad. It's so cliched and played out. If you've ever seen a cop film or a Prison Break type film, you've seen this movie.
All right,
it's The Great Escape.
Yeah,
it's really good in co-op though. They do some really cool things.
Well, it's the only way to play it.
Moment where one guy was hiding in the laundry hamper, and the other guy had to throw sheets over, and was not enough sheets, enough sheets. Eventually, you get enough sheets on, and then the whole thing is on his side of the screen. He was looking out the handle for the laundry thing.
Yeah.
But you have to hold the button to cover yourself, right? And when you get to moments where you're being inspected, you have to hold the button down, and if at any point you let up on the button, then you get caught.
Yeah.
So there's kind of fun little tension there.
It's good in co-op because you can talk with the other person and kind of avoid the just awful stiff dialogue. I don't know who they got to voice act it, but it's no good. It's Life is Strange. The Beyond the Storm levels of bad.
What talk about the voice acting? That's great.
No, it's not.
Well, this
it's like the dinner table scene. The whole time.
What's better, that or Daikatana though?
What?
Exactly.
Don't.
Okay. The voice acting is not good.
But this is a Polish game, right? So they probably have the same fucking problem that Far Cry has. Was they hired a bunch of local talent. right? And they all probably sound like they're not.
It's
from
so
there.
stiff, and no one seems to care that they're there.
You know, I'm willing to bet A Way Out has better voice acting than Tomcat Alley does.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Sega CD game.
Yeah, I would hope it fucking has better sound than a Sega CD game,
He's
Ryan.
cherry picking the worst, the
Jesus.
notoriously the worst games with the worst.
Yes,
ever.
compared to a Sega CD game, A Way Out is good.
Yeah.
Yes, in terms of vocal overlay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy. I wouldn't pick it up unless it's cheap.
Yeah.
Also, if you fail twice, the third time you'll be invincible, so you won't fail, which is really fucking annoying because 2 times, like, you kind of get used to what you have to do, and then by the third time it just does it for you, pretty much.
Yeah.
To make the whole journey quick and easy.
Yeah. And we should say as well that you do have to play it in co-op. You can't play it by yourself.
Yeah, no, there'd be no way. Though if you do buy the game, someone else can play for free.
Yeah.
Online, which is cool.
Also, if you want to see Brock's and Sean's journeys, Sean has all those videos in archive over at youtube.com/WeTheNerdy. So check those.
And they're on my Mixer archive.
Yeah.
At Brockstar.
If you want to see Brock's side of the story instead of Sean's. Essentially.
Well, you see both.
Oh, yeah,
they're
that's
both
true.
on screen at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So you see everything. I've been playing when Mom was here, so we played Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disneyland Adventures. She really wanted to play that.
Did your mom actually stream though?
No, she didn't want to stream.
Did the poll
we
not
got
work?
way too drunk.
Ah.
And I downloaded Minute. Haven't played it yet. Really excited for that one.
Yeah. I'm hearing good things about it.
I've downloaded a bunch of stuff, just haven't got to it. I've been really obsessed with Far Cry.
Yeah.
And then Fortnite.
There you go.
Cool.
Drew? Pretty much just Far Cry?
I've been playing mostly Far Cry. I published my review of Sea of Thieves on the website.
Go check that out.
That's on game-moves.com.
Yeah.
They kind of put out a roadmap yesterday. Sort of.
I mean, which is important.
Sort of.
Essentially, the reason I wrote the review with the caveat being like, this is the state of the game right now, and it's probably going to change. I hope it does. In short, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's not a bad game. It's a good game.
Yeah.
The reality is, though, those moments of like, because when it really hits, when everything comes together, when you've got a great crew and you're doing something really challenging and everybody's working together and I likened it to like a band, like when a band is playing together and you're like in that fucking groove, like it feels so good in that game. All the other shit in between just feels like a fucking slog, right? Because it doesn't, like, all that other stuff doesn't come as much. And then also it's just a pain in the ass to get that many people together all the time.
Because you really have to organize your entire group.
And
together.
the devs finally acknowledged something that I think people have been asking for since the very first beta that I don't know why wasn't implemented.
What?
Is the fact that you can finally just have 3 people play or 2 people.
Yeah.
So a random person won't get added and sent to the brig.
Which is a problem.
Which is exactly like my huge complaint with it the first time I played it.
If you did,
needed to change.
Yeah, if you did like a 2-person crew with 3-person, it would always fill you up to 4.
Yeah,
and
and
that
it
would be
wasn't
really
necessary
annoying.
to do that, like at all.
If anything, there are times where it's better to play with 2 people on a galleon than to play with 4 people with 1 person not being on headset or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to finally have on, too, that so if you don't have a mic, you don't get placed with people with mics.
Right.
Which is another feature that should have been implemented right at the bat.
Yeah.
I don't know why they held back on these things.
Well, especially-
because people are very vocal about them.
Especially with knowing this during the beta. Like, one would assume
The
you would pick up
multiple
on that.
betas. People kept bringing this up.
Hey,
the brig was a huge
Alpha,
problem.
and then 3 betas, right? Like
people are trolling the brig because there's nothing else to do. So that's all they do is troll the brig.
Fundamentally, the game is too repetitive. Like there aren't enough unique things to do.
Yeah.
All the things that you do, while those activities are enjoyable, you do them way too much. Like the loop is way too short. Like don't get me wrong, like a game like Destiny, which I feel is like abstractly a similar concept. You play those same story missions over and over again, but each of those story missions is very different. And there's enough of them that it feels like there's at least some variety. With these, there's 1 of 3 basic types of missions and then the raid. And those 3 basic types of missions and the raid are the same experience almost every single time. And they've just procedurally generated them, so it's just like it doesn't feel there isn't that much uniqueness to each of those.
There's only 4 spawn points. The boat only crashes one way.
Yeah.
Like these are things that should not have been in the final game.
Yeah.
Like if you're calling it complete. Like that's just weird.
Like there aren't enough people in like it feels like to meet another team feels weird. Like the whole concept of the game Sea of Thieves, the idea that they created an environment that would encourage people to kind of try to jack stuff from each other all the time. Well, you don't bump into each other enough for that to be a thing that happens all the time.
Like ever.
So Again, it's good. It's not great. I expect that this game will probably be fucking amazing in a year or so.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Last time we talked about this as well. Like, I think that as long as they keep going in this direction, I think it will be a good game.
It's just a real bummer they put this thing out for $80 and called it a full game.
Yeah.
It's gonna dampen people's experiences, and I don't know who's gonna come back in a year because I think they're gonna be burned.
Yeah,
by the fact
I'm
that they
certainly
did this.
I'm worried that there is. I mean, what I'm saying to people is like, stick it out. Like the roots of a good game are there. If we as a community stick to this game, I think potentially there'll be something really great.
And we're seeing like some community build up.
Yeah, people there are people who care about this game. You know, like there's the dude who became the pirate legend, and
like I don't
there's
pirate
there's two now.
Right.
The second guy just came a little bit after.
Like I don't think the numbers are huge, but I don't think they need to be right now.
Yeah.
They will, because I think that again, just like we saw with The Division, for example, the numbers were great at launch, kind of like Sea of Thieves were, but then totally died down.
Works
But
better
that
than
Division,
PUBG.
but the Division became an amazing game.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. And for me, I played a lot of retro games this week, but I won't get into that. I beat Predator 2 on the Genesis for the first time this week, though.
Well done.
Danny Glover taking it to the top.
Wow.
Tippy top.
Wow.
Because we've been running for an hour, let me just run through these release dates and we can comment on them. Insomniac Games has announced.
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man will arrive on PS4 on September 7th. He'll swing into stores. Hashtag get hyped because, September is looking really crowded now.
Brock's very happy with this, being a big Spider-Man fan.
I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah.
Bud.
You've been talking about this game like nonstop since they announced it.
I'm really excited.
Yeah. Cool.
Even me, who's not a typical comic book person, I can't wait to play this game because it looks so amazing.
Good. The swinging motion looks so much fun.
I maintain that it is probably one of my favorite iterations of the Spider-Man costume ever.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But even if you don't like the costume, one thing we learned this week is that there's going to be a ton of unlockable costumes.
Spider-Man Noir.
And no microtransactions. You can't buy any of these suits. You have to earn them all through.
They said to microtransactions, fuck that.
That is a direct quote.
Yeah.
That is a direct quote from Insomniac Games about
good news.
microtransactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the game looks fantastic, so I can't wait to play it. So next up, Activision has announced that Spyro Reignited Trilogy is a thing. It'll arrive on PS4 and Xbox One September 21st.
Just move on. Just move on.
No, that game's great. We should talk about it more.
No, it's
We've
not.
talked about how much we hate this game so many times.
Let's talk
People
about...
are going to realize on the date that Spyro was not as good as they remember.
Or we'll all remember how amazing Spyro is.
Spyro wasn't amazing. It was a really bad game.
It was good.
It's bad.
You guys will remember.
Yeah.
Unleash the Dragon, I say.
I didn't like it as a kid. I won't like it now.
Play Sonic Adventure instead.
Well, maybe they can play this game instead. So, Shaq-Fu, A Legend Reborn, has a release date. It's coming to PS4, PC, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch on June 5th.
Hey, when this game goes all fucking Bubsy on you, just remember, Drew was here and he told you, I told you
At
so.
least it's cheaper than Bubsy. It's more than half the price that Bubsy launched at, because Bubsy launched at $40. This game is $15.
I'm going to do a month lead up of features and coverage on it on the blog.
That's
about
fine.
Shaq-Fu.
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
It's still
I'm
going to suck.
interview every person that worked on that game and ask them why.
Now, there's one thing about Shaq-Fu I'm really bummed about, though, guys.
Yeah.
When you're making a game, are you going to worry that it's going to be too good?
Yeah. So the original Shaq-Fu was a fighting game. 2D fighting game.
Yes.
This game is a 2.5D brawler.
I mean, it should have been.
What the fuck is that?
It should have been a brawler in the first place.
No, but it's
problem.
no, because he knows kung fu. He's a martial arts legend. Shaq-Fu. It's a one-on-one fighting game.
Why can't it be like a Final Fight or something?
I'm just saying it's weird that they're trying to tap into the Shaq-Fu nostalgia of it being bad by releasing a brawler that's completely different from the original.
That it's not. Right, it was a fighting game with an overworld. Like, let's be real. The first Shaq-Fu was a fucking mess. Okay, this is the most hopeful thing that you've said about this game is that like they're actually diverting away from the formula of the first game.
You know, the developer of this game has claimed, is on record saying it will be better than the original Shaq-Fu.
Really?
So at least we have that going
very
for it.
hard.
Yeah, setting your bar pretty fucking low.
Well, at least we have a bar set, okay?
It's like saying it'll be the least stinky shit in the room.
Yeah, it'll be the best Free Willy yet.
I hope it just takes place on Shaq's dick. You just get to fight on top of his girthy penis.
Right on the tip.
Yeah, just right on the tip.
Have you seen Shaq's girlfriend?
No. Oh, she's super small.
Yeah, she's like,
but anyone would be really small next to him.
They must use some kind of special lube or something.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I wonder if she had to go see her doctor first to make sure.
Some NASA shit. You're like, just let's measure that. No, that's not going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last release date, and this one just for me, guys. You have to.
I think we already said Spyro.
Yeah.
Blizzard has announced the release date for World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. It will launch on PC on August 14th. I cannot fucking wait.
I'm really surprised, like, because there's all this content, there's like early content for the game, right? Like the new species.
Well, the alpha is out right now.
The alpha is out. Okay.
Yeah. Because the beta is coming soon.
I thought we had a release date for it already.
No, they said it will be out sometime in September or before September.
Okay.
Because that's just what Blizzard does.
Yeah, well,
it gives like
Blizzard can do whatever the fuck they
Blizzard's
want.
just like it'll be out around here.
Blizzard's got their own fucking arena now.
Yeah.
Blizzard just does what Blizzard wants.
Yeah. So Blizzard outlined a whole bunch of stuff like war zones and all kinds of new features coming to the game. But I won't bore you guys with it.
Okay.
But I'm really, really excited for Azeroth. This will not be the last time you hear me talking about
That's
it.
good of you.
Especially because that week, get hyped, everyone. Get on the hype train.
Cool.
It's going to be sweet. All right. And quickly, out this week, we've got Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice on Xbox One. Go play it, people. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And Hellblade on Xbox.
Yeah, Hellblade.
And then Rick and Morty Virtual Reality is also out this week on VR.
Oh, I have a copy of Hellblade to hand out next week, so stay tuned.
Get hyped, everyone. All right. So, before we go, Drew Plugs go.
I am at D McMillan Twitter, and go to www.game-moose.com and check out my review of Sea of Thieves.
Now, Drew, before we go on to Brock,
I think it's very eloquent.
we do have to plug as well. It's also your birthday tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow I'm an older man. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Drew.
I get older tomorrow.
We also missed Ryan's birthday. It was 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Actually, my birthday was in January.
What?
Yeah. That date that is on there is actually incorrect.
When I said happy birthday to you, Ryan, you said thank you.
I also said happy birthday. Yeah.
This guy.
My mom does that too. She puts a fake birthday on Facebook. She's like, that way Facebook doesn't have my personal information. And I'm like, Mom, you could just
Your mom's a smart woman.
You could just not put a birthday in. You can actually opt to not put a birthday in. So just don't do that. And like, there are all these people that are commenting on her wall, like, happy birthday. And then my mom's like, this is not actually my birthday, though. And I'm like, Mom, like, you make people feel like assholes when you do that.
That's just weird.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a weirdo.
So yeah, Ryan, you got us. We wished you a happy birthday. We did something nice for you on a day that wasn't your birthday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Aries.
All we did was came here.
Drew and I are
Say happy
both
birthday.
Aries babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aries for life, for real.
Yeah, that's why we're such combative assholes.
Yeah, it's my birthday next week, so pop the champagne.
So your birthday's next week?
Yeah, it's on Sunday.
It's on. Oh, you're exactly a week after me?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
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 Anyways, Brock plugs go.
Oh, right. Thanks for touching me on the shoulder,
I'm just trying to help, man.
All right. My name is Brock.
We
You
got
can find me on Twitter. Brock McLaughlin.
This is not a video date
On Twitter at Brock McLaughlin.
Hi, I'm new to this. I usually don't do this very often.
That's not true at all.
That's contradicting each other.
every day for the last 2 years.
Every day.
You're the one person that
We try this out 7 times each week, and this is the best we got. This is the best
only
we
one.
get. I still fucked it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, out of the three of us, you're the only person who actually appears on TV.
That's
True. Yeah.
See?
Well, I mean, we appear in the background of television occasionally.
Well, okay.
You can find me at Brockstar Gaming. I was on Heads Up Daily this week with my mom. That was fun.
You had your mom on the show?
Yeah, like in the middle of recording, I was like, "My mom's here! Get her out of here!"
Is that the whole reason why they just labeled your section Brock?
Yeah, it's just called
your
Brock
name?
now, so that's cool. There's 2 more segments coming. I don't know when they're coming.
Yeah.
And you can just find me in porn with these sunglasses on.
Also, Camille's
Xbox.
thing for the Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. YouTube.com.
Yeah, I'm on
Canada.
Xbox Canada's thing this week.
Next
Next week's my episode
Yeah.
on Thursday.
Yeah. So Camille's
the
was
best
this
for
week, and
last.
this is-
It's the Grog episode, and there's sharks.
This isn't surprising me.
Sharks.
at all.
There's sharks. There be sharks.
I know there were any sharks up near Newfoundland.
That's what you think.
They flew them
Just
in.
like you didn't think there was piranhas in Montauk. There is.
Montana?
Montauk.
Montana?
Montauk is closer. Montauk is in it's on the east coast of the United States.
You'd think I know. I'm from Hope County.
That's where you find the Montauk Monster.
Yeah. Stay blessed
Yeah.
with the bliss.
Yeah. I want to mention that I really wish they used a real drug and not a fake drug in Far Cry.
You didn't like the weed plants?
Yeah, but you need a fake drug in order to turn people into zombies.
I feel like that's a cop out.
There was a lot of fake shit mixed in with real world shit that also made it very complicated.
Make it heroin. Just make it heroin. Just go fucking nuts. Just
But
say
then
it's
what-
heroin.
No.
No.
They just be druggies, not cultists.
No.
Well,
they are just druggies.
But are there heroin zombies though?
Yeah.
There is no one referred
Yeah,
to.
they're called heroin addicts.
They're
But not actual zombies though.
They're kinda like zombies.
Like if I shoot you 5 times in the chest and you're addicted to heroin, you don't get back up again because I didn't shoot you in
That's
the head.
what you think. You don't know. I'm on heroin. I'm crazy.
Well, I mean, there's you can do all kinds. Like, there are a bunch of real drugs, or like meth and like bath salts and a few other things. They can just.
Oh my god, they can't touch the meth epidemic in America. That's too much.
Well, so is the opioid epidemic.
That's too much.
It was too real.
It was too real. That's the problem. There's too much real shit mixed in with fake shit in the game.
That's what I say. Like,
it's just all over the place.
Go all the way.
You gotta
make it real. Say fucking something about something.
You got a president building a wall against Canada for some reason.
Have some.
Well, that's because they have the drug trade that comes into America.
Some balls, have something to say about what's going on in the United States, and like stand up.
They do at the end.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we'll talk about that
at the end for some reason.
we should talk about the end at some point because it's
Stupidest ending.
I'm still thinking about that ending because I'm like, man,
I'm still thinking how dumb it is.
I thought it was great.
I can't believe that someone passed that ending.
I actually really liked it.
Oh man.
All right.
All right, so as for me, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford. That's TURFORD. And you can find our website, game-moose.com, for all the gamiest, moosiest stuff of all time, not including mooses. You can find us on Twitter at game_moose_cast, on Facebook at facebook.com/GameMoosePodcast, and on podcast services around the globe. Anyways, for Drew McMillan and Brock McLaughlin, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 120 of the Game Moose Podcast.
Holy.
And we're out.